Cover 3 Tailgate. And welcome back to the Cover 3 podcast. We good? Here.
So far.
Yeah, so far. I don't know if my guy Trip Tepper is still in the tailgate. It's still raining here. We are efforting. We're taking all the extra pieces of tinfoil we can to try to get the best signal possible. We're going to hang in there, and we are going to be taking questions from you because it is a mailbag. That's Tom Fornelli. That's Danny Kanell. That's Bud Elliott. I'm Chip Patterson. We've got mailbag questions. We've got, of course, a look ahead to what's coming up next week, where we will be diving into the SEC win totals. And there was a special request, a very special request, because we mentioned yesterday that we might have some camp buzz because Bud's been in the thick of the buzz, right? You go there with all the general managers, all the player personnel. They said, are we going to get that camp buzz? I say, Mother Nature will let us. Come on, let's buzz it.
Players that are making a buzz. Camp buzz. Camp buzz. Camp buzz. Talking about players that are buzzing.
Yeah, so one of the worst parts about camp buzz is preseason injuries. But like preseason injuries are kind of the worst injuries you can have because it means you're losing the player for 12, 13, 14, 15 games. And I think among those, quarterback is clearly the worst, but losing one of your big guys is probably second on that list because most of your young guys, at the big positions, you're just not really ready to play for the most part. And we have some bad news here, unfortunately. So Texas right tackle Andre Kojo looks like he's done for the year. Maybe a starter, maybe not. Obviously battling Brandon Baker there. But what is not in question is that their depth is like zero. Because remember, they lost both their guys last year to the draft. So that's really concerning. Now, the left tackle for them, he actually played Goolsby. He really played, I thought, quite well down the stretch, including against Texas A&M when they had one of their guys banged up. But let's just file this note away. Obviously, number one, we hope Kojo gets back healthy and has an awesome career. Number two, if Texas has another tackle injury this year, they are like red alert. And that's a real concern if you are somebody who took Arch Manning 2 overall in the Heisman draft like me. So, yeah, that's one to watch for there. Virginia right tackle Michaeling Thomas, he's going to miss multiple months. So that's really bad because obviously a school like UVA is not going to have like multiple starter level tackles. And so, I think if you guys could redo your win total picks, a tackle probably doesn't move the needle enough unless you were just kind of on the fence. Maybe it pushes you one way, but certainly if I was betting over with UVA because the schedule's a cakewalk, which it is, I'm like a little bit less confident now in that because of that. And they also lost, unfortunately, one of their defensive backs. Where's this kid's name here? I just pulled it up. Jamaric Jones, unfortunately, tore his ACL. So that's not good. So UVA had brought in they lost 2 cornerbacks in the spring to ACL injuries as well, Jam Jackson and Dre Walker. So now this is the third they have lost in like the last 4 or 5 months now, 2 ACL injuries at DB. So not a great offseason for UVA.
Wait, hold on. Can we go back to Texas?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the number 1 team in the country.
Right.
This feels how many opponents do you think Texas has that will expose losing a player of Kojo's caliber?
If Brandon Baker is ready to go and plays to his ceiling, 0. If somehow Baker is not good, or if they have a single tackle injury, then I think the number is potentially, let me see, Ohio State, yes. Oklahoma, definitely. Florida, definitely. Kentucky, I think their D-line kind of sucks this year, so no. Mississippi State,
A&M,
no.
maybe 4.
A&M, Georgia.
Shoot.
So, I mean, I think their 5 toughest games probably become a lot tougher. Remember, Texas has one of the easiest SEC schedules. It's a difficult schedule overall because they have a road game in Columbus to open the year. But if you're Arch Manning, you're like, damn it, really? Like our tackle depth takes a major hit. That's not great.
Yeah, I think more than anything, if you're Texas, is that you're already replacing guys on your offensive, including your left tackle who went in the first round of the NFL draft, and now you're probably suffering injuries at a spot where depth gets tested pretty quick.
Does it feel? It feels very similar to last year when Notre Dame. Remember when Jagasaw goes down and we're kind of worried about him? At a place like Texas, they just whip out some more pancake batter and just make another one on the griddle. I mean, I don't mean to be insensitive because obviously you don't want to ever see an injury, but like if there was a program that I wouldn't worry about, it would be Texas. Like they'd be one of probably 5 that you feel like there's going to be some 5-star. But I think Bud's point about the depth issue, that becomes the question mark for them when you start, if you get thinner and you don't want to be thin, especially when you're playing 16 games, potentially.
Exactly.
Oh, that pancake broke. That's okay. Just scoop some more out the ladle and lay it out there.
So that's where babies come from.
Yesterday, there was a real big scare on social media with Nussmeier at practice.
I heard he's dead.
Yeah, I was like, okay. But
that was quickly shot down by like a lot of people that are pretty connected with LSU. Like Jacob Hester, he was on the radio. He's like, no, it's not true. Feldman shot it down, said multiple sources, said it was, can't believe it spread. Like it was they almost made it sound like no big deal, which hopefully it is.
Garrett Nussmeier is not injured, but he might be a furry.
That's right.
Seriously.
All right. Do you want
I don't know how long he'll be out. Sonny Ship 15 hours ago on Go 247 said not expecting anything significant at all. And by that meaning like weeks. So, I'm assuming he's good by Clemson. Maybe I shouldn't assume that.
So wait, you're hearing that he is going to be missing practice?
No,
Yes.
I'm just saying Sonny said not hearing that it's anything significant. And by that, I mean weeks. So maybe I'll have
that's a little concerning. That's more concerning than I had reading some of these reports. It wasn't nothing like
happened. Like I don't think that I think the severity was extremely overstated on social media, but I haven't seen anybody shot it down and say like nothing happened at all.
All right, here's the line that I believe is going to be used on a story on CBSSports.com here in just a little bit is a D lineman's knee brace clipped Nussmeier's knee after a throw, and he was a little gimpy afterwards, but it's fine.
So they bang knees.
right.
That hurts for a little bit.
But no timetable given for fine.
Mm-hmm.
You just let him cool off a little bit, Don't go out there. I mean, DK, again, we'll come to you. You ever get clipped by a knee brace? Were they wearing knee braces?
Our offensive linemen had to. It was a requirement. Yeah. They had to wear them on both knees. They hate. I mean, I don't know. I would hate it if I was them. Some of them didn't love it because they're pretty big and they're pretty restrictive. But like all kind of nicks and bruises happen. I used to hate getting stepped on. Like that was painful. And then you'd lose like a toenail like a month later. That was a painful process. Like those, like there's just it's a part of physicality of the sport, right? It's just kind of part of it. My biggest fear was hand. I did break a finger on a helmet. That was in a preseason game. But sometimes you're on contact, but they're blocking guys into you and you're focused downfield and you can kind of, get bruises on your hand sometimes. So it's all part of it. But I actually am a little bit, not more concerned, but I thought it was like all fake news, like this is nothing. But if he misses a couple weeks of practice, like then you are getting closer to game time, not from a prep standpoint, because clearly he's familiar with everybody, the system, but just something you don't want to have to deal with.
Yeah. I don't have any reason to like justify this. I think he's going to play against Clemson.
Yeah,
but,
I think so too.
He's told me like he's for sure in, but that's a couple weeks away. So, but I think
by the way,
he's not out for the year and then crazy.
if it was any reason like a defensive player was too close to him, that guy might lose his scholarship because that's how serious they are about, like, there's Bailey Brad, but don't touch the QB. That's the one thing they'll do in preseason that they'll absolutely lose their minds. If you get some young freshman who's feeling good and he wants to really buzz them, that's when you get a little talking to.
Yeah, I mean, so sticking on LSU for a minute, I've heard very good things about the DBs that they took in the portal. Like I think Delane is probably pretty legit, and that's going to be very important as they match up against Clemson, especially if they try to keep using, Harold Perkins in that defense, because I don't think he really fits what they want to run. But like they clearly paid the kid, and he's a hometown. There's a lot of stuff like with height where you kind of got to work him in somehow, politics and whatnot, or maybe he'll be good this year. I don't know. Like he was kind of a liability last year before he got dinged. And they also have like the Weeks injury. How good is he going to look? Is he going to be 100%? Don't know. But we did hear good things about the DBs and Whit Weeks, the linebacker.
Yeah, linebacker.
But also DJ Pickett apparently is looking really good for them, the 5-star corner they paid up for. So you always want to hear, like I like to hear from guys at the symposium or personal people I know, like, hey, the guy we paid big money for, we're confident we hit, even though it's only a couple weeks on the camp. Like they're very confident that Pickett's going to be a dude for them. So that's an extremely encouraging sign. You know what I didn't hear a damn thing about? I didn't hear bad words. Just nobody was bragging on LSU's O-line that they took in the portal, and they got to replace both tackles to the draft. So that's still very wait and see. And when I saw the Nuss news, I was kind of, why is he getting dinged? Now it happens all the time, just on accident. I shouldn't, but like, I don't know. You heard anything good about the LSU offensive line they took? Because I haven't.
Before, if you got anything else LSU, let's hit it. But
oh yeah, I do. The receiver from Kentucky, Barron Brown.
Yeah,
dude,
good.
Like they like him a lot. Yeah,
he's a good player.
Like a whole lot.
I mean, talk about getting freed.
Destin Hill
liberation.
is no longer,
Liberation Day for Barron Brown.
Yeah, Destin Hill's back. I think Aaron Anderson's dinged up, the Louisiana kid who signed with Bama, and now he's back. But yeah, I mean, like to Lane Jennings' point in the chat, like TJ Parker is going to eat them alive. He very well may like really bust them.
What are you hearing about Dallas Wilson as Florida continues to have these issues pile up? Is this something to be really concerned about in terms of the Gator?
Because of the difficult games Florida has early, I think you have to be worried about this, because we know Eugene Wilson has not been healthy for much of the offseason, and he's still kind of dinged. And now Dallas Wilson, who is a physical freak show, with him being hurt, like I think you got to be a little bit worried about Florida's passing game. They also just have not worked together because Lagway missed all his spring. Like I love the upside of Florida, but it all like their variance is just so wide. And they don't even like their backup. Remember, like they wanted to get to Sean Purdy. They don't want to play Harrison Bailey if Lagway isn't there. So sorry, I had a lot of coffee today, but I'm moving fast. I think you got to be worried about Florida a little bit with those, because like that's a freshman who he's not a luxury. Like they're counting on him to be good and good immediately.
I mean, is Florida fans feel like their team is falling apart right now? Is that a fair? It feels like. What did Jake say? Jake said yesterday, "Why is our team made of glass?"
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's already real dread and panic setting in, which is incredible, because I swear they were flying high, number 12 in the CBS Sports 136 like 2 days ago. Now all of a sudden, how are we going to be able to back that up?
And if they're full health, I'm very confident 12 is low. Like I don't think full health there ain't no way in hell. Personally, that I would favor 11 other teams over full health Gators. Like if Lagway's actually,
you're saying from like a power rating standpoint,
correct? Yeah, exactly. But again, I think the voters in that poll are smart to realize like there's a lot of moving pieces who have to go right here, and health is one of those major moving pieces for them. They're kind of like the Jacob deGrom of college football right now. Everybody acknowledges like the talent is pretty unreal, especially at QB, but if they just can't stay healthy, it's quite annoying.
Before we get
ability is availability.
That's true.
Right. We want
to do Edric Houston. That's a big one. If you want to talk about the other side, we still haven't talked about Ohio State's defensive lineman.
I saw he got dinged, right? But is he out? Because I didn't see more on that. Let me check. Well, somebody else check Bucknuts, because my typing is really loud with the new mic stand. I got it. Dave would know. Maybe I'll just text Dave.
I think what stood out to me when I looked at it was remembering just how much has gone off Ohio State's defensive line, just how many young players they need to step in, and that a player of Houston's talent level is the kind of guy that we've seen at Ohio State who steps in, and maybe he's not even the starter, maybe he is the starter, but he plays a whole lot of snaps and he has a big impact on the game. And that anywhere that we see that group take a little bit of a step back is going to be just more reasons to go into prove it mode for Ohio State's defense, given everything they lost in the defensive front. And also the coordinator changed from Jim Knowles to Matt Patricia. Houston back in full practice today. Thank you, Billy, in the tailgate.
I am on Bucknuts right now. The top story is NIL has screwed this class. From famous Buckeye. Currently ninth coming off a national title. Yeah, currently ninth coming off a national title, and under normal circumstances, this class is top 5. I could probably come up with 3 to 5 names of the top 150 players that would be committed to us, if not for the biggest bag being the carrot that has caused them to go elsewhere. Too bad college football and the institutions have not figured out a way to keep the playing field even when it comes to money, because our staff, culture, and path to the NFL is second to none. Yeah, that's right. An Ohio State fan whose $20 million roster just won a national title complaining about how money's ruining the sport.
So just saw this from the chat. Max Granville is out for Penn State. He was an early enrollee freshman who was looking good. But Zariah Fisher, we had heard was really pretpretty damn good for them. And they were like from Big Ten today. He was one of the guys.
I mean, when you got Dennis Sutton and Zane Durant and Fisher, I think they're okay on that top line. Tough to lose a talent.
I think the depth is for certain.
I think we're okay there.
It is interesting from LSU versus Far in the chat. I normally wouldn't read like anonymous, but like I said, Elijah Pritchett, the Bama transfer, is getting pushed at Nebraska. Probably be the starter, but there's certainly a chance that he gets beaten out. That would be very concerning for me. I don't like, from my perspective, they took Pritchett for a reason. They paid Pritchett for a reason. They need him to start. I don't think Nebraska has like options that are better than Pritchett who are also good. So if he doesn't win the job, to me, that would just be like pretty disappointing. Could be wrong. I don't think I am.
I mean, just right out of the Cover 3 journalistic standards, just something that I saw and I cannot attribute. Somebody took a look at Nebraska's practice, and the quote coming out of it was, "There's going to be a lot of close games." So, okay. Like, how about that? What do you, if somebody said there's going to be a lot of close games and you know Nebraska's personnel, what is your takeaway to that?
Run it by me one more time, because I was looking at this report of JoJo Trader, the Miami potential #1 receiver in a boot.
Someone watched Nebraska's practice. The takeaway was there's going to be a lot of close games.
Okay, well, if we have reasonable confidence in the offense, that probably means I think the defense is going to suck, and I totally agree with that. Like, there's a reason Tony White, who's a really good DC, left Nebraska for a 2-10 Florida State team.
Listen, I'm not just saying this because of the hat on my head, but a lot of times the videos you see at practice don't really mean anything. Don't pay any attention.
No. Caleb Williams is a bust. He's done.
No.
He could not hit the target on the thing before practice. They're toast. I mean, I saw that. They're done.
It's funny, that video made the rounds, but like the next day when he made every single one, that video didn't really get shared nearly as much.
Right.
It's all about what'll go viral, baby.
I know. It just means that the Vikings and Packers are scared.
Evan Watkins reports that from our Virginia Tech site, does a great job. Reports that Kyron Drones is 100% healthy. So that's a big one. We know he was banged sometimes last year, and he was definitely banged up in the spring. So we do need, we like that.
They play South Carolina, which is waiting on the Faison ruling.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Yeah, so that's interesting too. So Faison got his TRO approved to be able to practice, right? Faison's looking for that like a millionth year of college football, basically, which whatever. Like long term, we probably need a solution to that. In the immediate term, I think that everybody should get it for this year, because I think like having it granted in some cases by one court and not by another court is an inconsistent solution. That's not really fair for the sport. Like, we need to work for a more permanent solution, like an actual rule. But it's hard to do. For this year, I think they should get it. In Cali, the judge consolidated the cases of USC and UCLA players, so Robinson and then the guard and the O-lineman for USC, denied the TRO, and then said the NCAA has to show cause for why the injunction should not be granted. So we'll see if the NCAA can do that. And that's a pretty big one for USC, because remember that Oregon took USC's starting guard, the Wyoming kid. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
USC took him from Wyoming, and then Oregon took him away. Yeah, so they lost in Oregon. So they don't have the replacement for that kid. That's
a concern.
Yeah. What else do we have here?
Yeah. Anything else on the Camp Buzz notebook?
The chat seems to like this a lot.
Bud's been in the thick of it, but I mean, Tom, Danny, any other like stray, unattributable comments that you would bring? Like,
what did you guys? So Ryan Day said this thing's coming down to the wire between Julian Sayin and Lincoln Kienholz. Do we believe him? I mean, he talked about consistency. You know, I don't believe him either, but it does sound like, I wonder if they want Julian Sayin to play a little bit cleaner, to kind of put some pressure on him to take that step forward. I just feel like it's been a little bit sloppy, and I don't know if that's a great thing. I don't think it's panic, but I think they're really trying to see if Julian Sayin would take that step forward.
I believe it.
Yeah, I believe it.
So you think it is a real competition out of all these that are?
Yeah, because I think you can't dismiss the idea that Lincoln was an extremely raw but high upside three-sport guy. And so how can we say with certainty, when we really haven't seen him play any meaningful snaps in games, that he hasn't finally unlocked that potential since he's been focusing on football? You know? Like, I would be surprised if he is not at least somehow like featured in red zone stuff. Red zone was an issue for Ohio State a couple years ago, and we know that Sayin is not a run threat and not a real big guy. I know he's bigger now. Save it, Ohio State fans. He's not a guy you're like, yeah, that's the dude I want banging around in the red zone. Lincoln is. So I might be kind of surprised if he's not somehow involved in some packages, right?
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things where it's the kind of thing where they're still competing because Lincoln Kienholz isn't letting Sayin pull away. So I think it's one of those good things. Same vein, but the other way. Quote today coming out of Mizzou from Eli Drinkwitz about their quarterback battle between Bo Pribula and Sam Horn. There really hasn't been any separation. I think that goes the other way. I think that they're worried because, they brought in Pribula from the transfer portal, and the fact that he's not separating from Horn, I think is a bad update coming out of Mizzou.
So, yeah, I think Mizzou's defense is dynamite.
Yeah,
I don't know about their offense. Yeah. We'll see. But they've done pretty good job with like just misfit toys before, and I don't think anybody ever thought Pribula was a great thrower. Like, you took him to work off some of your zone game stuff, and also
before we leave Ohio State, Danny, the Ryan Day playbook, it doesn't matter who it is. Yeah. It's going to go down to the wire. I mean. What was it, like Justin Fields got pushed, and the Devin Brown, Kyle McCord, everyone's going to fight over how we relitigate Kyle McCord's time in Columbus, but Kyle McCord was getting pushed, all the way down to the wire. I think this is how he manages.
How'd that work out?
I just think this is how he manages a quarterback battle when he doesn't have a true returning starter. He's going to keep it going, and Lincoln's presence is probably a great thing for Julian Sayin. And if Julian Sayin's a little sloppy, heck yeah. Like, let Lincoln go out. Like, you sit your ass on the sideline, go watch these next reps with Lincoln with the ones. I totally rock with it.
I hated that because I was in a quarterback competition, to win the job after Charlie Ward left. And it drove me nuts that they wouldn't just name me the starter because I had played more. But they let it up. But I do think that's the only way you can simulate the pressure of what it's like to be Ohio State's starting quarterback. Like, you have to make that quarterback uncomfortable. You don't want to hand anybody a job. So I think that's exactly what he's doing, is he's trying to simulate the pressure environment of having to deliver when you you have to step up. Like it's so you got to separate yourself. So I get it, and I think it's the smart thing to do. But I just trying to read between the lines of, all right, why do some of these why aren't they yet? Is interesting.
I got one for you guys. Who do you think GM's out? Let me say this again.
Right. Oh, hold on. Is this the game? Can we hit a break? And because it's 25 minutes.
Yeah. After tease it, and then we'll
Coming up on the other side, Bud's got a question about who all of those GMs at the symposium wish they could have gotten. We'll give them some guesses and more next.
Name's Conrad Harrigan, family man. And if you cross my family, well, you'd better pray.
Mobland, new series streaming March 30th on Paramount Plus.
Back here on the Cover 3 podcast. Bud, you pitched this in the group chat. It was too good to break out in the group chat. We got to bring it to the tailgate and the people. Let's go. What did you gather? And what's who is everybody envious of? Who's everybody feeling a little jelly after the transfer?
So let's go around and have guesses from you guys. We'll start with offense. Who's the one offensive player? And for this, we're going to limit this to teams who, let's say, have at least pie in the sky level expectations of making the college football playoff. So not like teams that are ranked 50th and don't have any money to play with. Like these are mostly teams that are like exceeding the cap or coming pretty close to it. Like they really play ball. They pay for guys, like teams that are at least good teams and spenders.
Didn't you let the cat out of the bag last couple days ago?
I might have said in the chat. Okay. If you know, don't guess.
All right. The offensive player, I think I know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a wide receiver.
It is. It's a wide receiver. Wonder if the tailgate knows.
Is it? I mean, I know the answer. So
it's not Squirrel Wright or Deuce Robinson.
No, definitely not Squirrel.
I'm just trying to think. I'm just trying to come up with any wide receiver who I know is not the answer. Was it Jeremiah Smith?
No. A couple of the ones were like, actually, one of the funny answers was, hold on, I got to try to remember who actually went in the portal, not who we were in on. Right. It's like sometimes they're back list.
Now that's the list I want to hear. Right. I want to know who you were bidding on.
One of my buddies had to pull out his phone. He's like, okay, actually, this kid never went in the portal.
No, it's not Trevor. Yeah, it's not Trevor Pena, who's now at Penn State. It's not Casey Concepcion, who is at Texas A&M. Adam in the tailgate's got
it. It's Eric Singleton. I talked to 20 guys. He was more than half of their answers. Like a GM seemed to love him, and Auburn obviously paid the kid a fortune, and I think it's very worth it. Like everybody acknowledges, that dude's worth the money. And one of the reasons why I liked him so much is they played a murderer's row of a schedule at Georgia Tech, and he made a bunch of future NFL defensive backs look bad, consistently. So worth the money there for sure with Eric Singleton. Number 2 answer on offense, John Mateer. They don't seem to have a lot of concerns that a lot of his production came against essentially Mountain West teams last year, and he wasn't great against the P4 teams. They seem to like him a whole lot. How about defense? This was much harder, and the answers were a little more across the board, but one kid started to emerge a lot.
Now, this is of actual players who were in the portal, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Not tampers.
Correct. Well, some of these dudes may have been tampered with, but the tampering actually worked.
If it's tampering worked, that changes my answer. And the way I was going to say David Bailey,
right? At some point, so it's
I would say Bailey, but he was a late ad, right? So he was kind of the.
I mean, but David Bailey was on campus at Texas before Texas Tech locked him down. So he at least was making the run in terms of being out there. I think it was right before the spring portal opened. Oh, good guess. Will Help?
No.
Was it Dylan Thieneman?
Damon Wilson?
No. I mean, I think he's a pretty good player, and Missouri's very happy with him.
Was it Pat? Peyton is a physical freak. But I think there were some question marks about.
I think there are some concerns about Peyton, and the one good year he had, the 2 guys playing next to him are literally dudes who were dominating the NFL playoffs as rookies, which is a concern.
Was it Prince Will?
No,
Ooh.
nobody in the chat is even close to this. This is why it kind of surprised me that like this became the number one answer from guys I talked to. Miller in the chat, Murad Watson. No, but I have heard Murad looks really good at Texas. That's one of the reasons I went Cuse under. Is like all the guys they lost in the portal seem to be like hitting at their new schools.
Ooh, Bo Atkinson,
No,
Sydney Sweeney.
Man.
she'd be at the top of the transfer list for sure. But good genes.
Great genes.
Great genes.
All right,
Don't
you guys ready?
cancel us.
It's David Blay,
Really?
Louisiana Tech D tackle that Miami signed.
Huh.
And I think it's because Miami like got on him early, and everybody's like, "Oh, damn it! Like that's a great one they got, especially probably like for the price they paid." Because it was a hard D tackle year.
All right, hold on. All right, was that was winter portal?
Yeah,
Was
Yeah.
Heatherman signed? Had he been hired yet?
I don't think so. So I mean,
So that's
he
just like
portaled,
Mario.
he
and
portaled December 9th.
So that
Yeah,
would be Mario's scouting department, like credit to the whole operation. You know, we always talk about how Mario works his staff and grinds them on the recruiting trail. Shout out to the personnel department there down in Miami, being able to lock that one down. When you're able to get a Louisiana Tech player that then all the rest of the big dogs are like, oh, rats, you know, like
Right.
that's pretty cool. I like that call out right there. So he'll be inside with Ruben Bain outside for the starting Miami defensive line.
And they rotate Bain around some too. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
As the lone Miami supporter on this show who went over on the Canes, this makes me feel good.
yeah, I was like, this is it was interesting. He was very good at Louisiana Tech, obviously, but yeah. Dog in DC, Elo Mendoza. I mean, I've heard he's killing it for Georgia, the Army transfer. So that's like maybe they won't
Discipline.
miss.
That's what we're happy about. Okay. Elo Mendoza brings discipline to the Georgia locker room. This is what we're excited about.
Exactly. Speaking of Auburn, I think they feel pretty good about the offensive line. So that's encouraging. Probably the best Auburn offensive line they've had in a decade, at least. So things could be looking up there. Obviously, got to see Jackson Arnold do it in a game. I'm a little worried about their defense. I think, like they got a lot of names at D tackle. I don't think they have like a real, almost cuss. I don't think they have a real difference maker at D tackle. Obviously, we know Kelby at D end. Their Keldrick Falk is really, really good. But yeah, is Texas Tech getting what they paid for so far? That's a good question for Mike. We should think about that. So I think, yes, Texas Tech paid to massively upgrade their roster and save their jobs. And I think they did that and very well may do that. Is Texas Tech getting the value for their dollar that like an Ohio State or Oregon would get for that level of spending? No. You have to pay a real premium to get a kid to come to Texas Tech.
Didn't somebody
Which also-
was it you? Somebody put a number on, it was like 30% premium.
I mean, I think we were just like spitballing, but it was like,
Yeah.
okay, how much more are you having to pay? You know,
The
to get,
markup to go live in Lubbock and play for Texas Tech versus playing
like
for
you're
Georgia.
paying like Derek Harmon prices for Lee Hunter.
What a cut. God, college
You know what I'm
football.
saying? Like last
Yeah.
year's D tackle was like because
Right.
Miami and Florida State were bidding on the one D tackle, Barron. Sound right? Barron Barton from Michigan State. And the Michigan State people were like, the other kid's the stud. And Oregon was like, yeah, we know, and we're going to pay the real money. And they got him, and he went first round. So, or late second.
Harmon?
He went pretty high.
Yeah, he went. I don't remember where he went.
Did he go first?
He
Like,
might have been
they-
first or
Oregon got
early
their money
second.
for sure.
Yeah,
Like he got
he was
you got
good
14
for him. That's
games
what
out of
matters.
a high
Yeah.
draft.
Yeah, and he was good for him. I'll tell you what matters to me. He was good on the field for the Ducks. You know, big part of that defensive front for sure. He'll be missed in a big way.
An interesting discussion we had. This is really nerdy. You want to go? Like, I mean, what do we have for mailbag questions? I don't want to take up the entire show on this.
For mailbag questions, we've got what is your favorite piece of college football memorabilia? Some game watching tips. How do you keep track of all the action during a game? I thought that'd be a fun one to do, especially with the season. And then another college football sort of travel advice question. We get to pick a game. So we still got some time on the other side. And of course, the tailgate, which is loving this camp buzz, can always throw something in the mix. We've got a Clemson fan who's got a question for Tom, but Clemson hater number one, Tom.
All right,
That
so
loser ass program.
we got into an interesting debate on, because like it's very hard to find like big time tackles in the portal, so you have to pay up for them. But like I was talking to some guys, and I think there's some merit to this argument. Like I don't think I would pay that much for one tackle. It's like I would pay a lot of money for offensive linemen, and I would pay a lot of them. Because in the NFL, the upside to spending a lot of draft capital, which is essentially the same thing as paying a bunch for high school kids, if you pay a lot of draft capital for a tackle and he hits, those guys also tend to stay really healthy, and you have that player locked into your roster oftentimes for like an 8 to 12 year career, which is a huge value. In high school, if you're paying like $1.5 million for if you're paying $1.5 million for a high school tackle, you're probably not getting great value in year one. So you're like NFL teams are not paying that kind of development cost as it relates to the proportion of their entire career. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe your developmental year for your rookie is 1/10 of his career. In college, for a really high upside tackle, it's a third, because the kid's only going to play 3 years and then he's going to bounce. So does it really make sense to do that? And like the guy I was talking to, I thought it was a good point. He's like, I would spend like a lot more money, but spread it around a bunch. Just to
than
make
you
sure
would
we
on
have,
defense.
like more bites at the apple for like more chances to hit, but not loaded up on just one guy, because then I got to rely on him as a freshman, and he just may not be ready to do it.
Do you have the same
This
health
kind of in
concerns?
response to Miami splashing the pot for their 5-star and Texas Tech doing so for their 5-star tackle? Like, is it optimal strategy? Because now it's like, yeah, the player at the price is the real question in college.
Do defensive linemen have the same health concerns?
In the NFL?
No, like if you're a college general manager, you're trying to decide which line of scrimmage you want to invest in and how you want to do it.
Well, I don't think it's the health concern in college. I just think that it's like the
learning curve.
With the learning curve in college,
curve.
the health thing in the NFL is real. Like the guys who hit seem to be good for a long time to tackle. It's just not a high injury position.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. I don't know why.
Just because we're built different.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's I don't know. That was interesting.
Any other camp buzz from the notebook?
I think that's pretty much it. I didn't track down the trader in a boot report. It's on Twitter, but it's not from somebody I trust. So I don't know. Maybe somebody in the tailgate will drop that later.
We got a lot of players in boots.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, these boots are made for walking. All right. Coming up.
There was a lot of like, who is Bryce Underwood throwing to at Michigan? That was like a common question from other people who work in the Big Ten. It was like, who is he throwing to? So,
yeah. Mikey Keene.
It's probably a little bit of shade, because obviously I bet you they wish they had Larry Ellison's money to get Bryce Underwood in the first place. But
hey, bud, it's day one. It's day one. New era.
Right.
Day one, baby.
That's right.
Coming up on the other side, your questions, our answers, starting with what is your favorite piece of college football memorabilia, and some game watching tips and more. Next.
The crowd loves champions. Gladiator 2 is an epic spectacle. To amuse you is my only wish.
The glory is yours, not mine.
Very good. Gladiator 2, rated R. Now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Back here on the Cover 3 podcast, we've got a great entry into the Fantasy Football Today Draft-a-thon. So we have in the past auctioned off a lot of different ways for you to be able to either speak with us or get to know us, or maybe even participate in the show. How about getting your very own Listener Locks segment during the season? Not every week, but at least one. And that is one of the items that is up for auction right now. We've got the link in the description of this episode. If you're listening to it wherever you get your podcast on YouTube, you should find it under the video. The bidding will run for about one more week. I think it closes August 14th at 5:50 So you've got about 1 week left to go in there. Again, if you get the winning bid, then you get to sit down. We'll have a conversation. We'll clip it and we will insert it into the Cover 3 Locks edition. Also, so much gratitude for you, the listeners, because once again, we are a finalist in the People's Choice Podcast Awards. Thanks to you. You're the ones that made it happen, but we still need your help. If you voted for us in the last round, you are now eligible to vote again. Check your email. And if you have something from People's Choice, click on it to give us that final vote. Again, the Cover 3 podcast. This is for the best sports podcast in the world, according to the People's Choice Podcast Awards. And so we're there. I mean, just all podcasts, not just the best this, not these side categories. The last one that they read, the golden envelope. We've been a finalist before, but now we want to win it. So if you voted for us before, go check it out. If not, we will have a link in the episode description for you to go and vote for us. Again, the People's Choice Podcast Awards. We are a finalist for the best sports podcast category. Thank you for making us a finalist. Now let's go and win the thing. All right.
Also, like the bidding to be the guest picker for a lock spot, that's how Mackenzie got her start on the show. So you never know what's going to happen.
That is 100% true. She bought her way in.
Mm-hmm.
she fought her way to the top. All right, let's go to the big old bag of mail. This comes from
Juan Manuel's comment. Okay. All right, we'll do it. Yeah, we'll do it at the end.
Okay.
More Castellano stuff.
All right, I'll go ahead and star it. Call for it later. All right, this one comes from Apple username Mr. Swole. He says, the only podcast I've listened to for 5+ years. If you're a CFB sicko, this one's for you. Mailbag, what's your guys' favorite college football memorabilia? Every live episode on YouTube, I find myself half listening, but also half inspecting what you guys have on display in your backgrounds. I love collecting college football related merch and was wondering what some of your most prized possessions are.
The Cheez-It boxes Bud brought me.
That's right. Shout out Chris, obviously, who got that to us. That was fantastic.
What do we have, Danny? I mean, I figured Danny, this was just like right for Danny to be able.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Michael's going to be typing angrily in all caps here momentarily.
For those who are listening at home, go check it out. Danny, you want to tell them what you're holding up right there? Because this was
my last game at Florida State. It was at the Orange Bowl. We were playing Notre Dame. We were trailing in the fourth quarter, came back, 4 touchdown passes, 3. They were all 4 to Andre Cooper. So he took home MVP, which was awesome. And it's since been passed. I think Matt Leinart threw 6 touchdowns when he had Reggie Bush and all those dudes at USC, but it stood for a little bit. But to keep the streak of 10+ winning, 10 wins a season streak going for Coach Bowden, I have a picture that's actually probably more meaningful than this with my dad that I was looking for. I don't have it handy. But he was like right there on the field. My family was there. It was the last game at Florida State. That was pretty cool. That one's probably the most special for me.
Also, for Juan Manuel in the chat, I bet you a lot that Carson Beck would trade careers Dan Kanell right now. Like, Danny won a national title ring and played 9 years in the NFL. Like, I guarantee the over-under on Carson Beck ain't 9 years in the NFL, bro. Like that. And I mean, come on, what are we doing? Sorry.
But he is right. I wish I had made as much as Carson Beck is making now. Like, and he probably is. He probably is going to make more than my entire NFL career potentially. I think he probably has.
In the inflation, I don't know. Let's
right.
Craps table, Danny. So Carson hasn't been on a heater like that.
Yeah, Carson ain't got no game right there. A lot of my memorabilia, like a lot of the old stuff that I have, is from like going to like Carolina football games growing up, and different things that you'd get. Like I'd always pick up the Daily Tar Heel on game day, which would have the depth chart laid out with the actual drawings of like little figures against each other. I just reached off my bookshelf and I pulled this. Is a pretty solid team right here. We got Ronald Curry, was the quarterback here. Ryan Sims, he played defensive line in the NFL for a little bit. Oh, and number 49, that'd be Julius Peppers. So just like that was Saturdays in the fall, going to games with my family. See, 2001, I was 15 years old. Didn't have a driver's license yet, so you're still riding, so still stuck in traffic with your parents, listening to Woody Durham on the call, like getting you set with the pregame show and the postgame show. What I've collected memorabilia wise since I started working for CBS, I've got a lot of confetti just sort of stuffed in different bags from different championship games. Sometimes you'll reach up and scoop it up. A few media guides along the way. But yeah, I don't think that my college football memorabilia game is the strongest here, and I wasn't expecting that.
So this is kind of fun. So this is this year's Lindy's preview.
Yeah.
Right. So I pick up all these kind of before I go on summer vacation, read them. How about this throwback right here? A little Lindy's from 1995.
Yeah.
Are they calling you Forrest Gump on there? What is it?
Probably. Yes. There it is. So I actually just cleaned out my office and I kind of put I love this. Bud's got something real old. I like that.
Oh, this is cool. So I do like this Eddie Robinson Coke bottle.
That's a great one.
Cool. So I think Coke actually made this for him before like his record got recognized. You know what I'm saying? Because he had the record because he was coaching HBCU stuff. So I think Coke went ahead and made it anyway, which is pretty cool. I was looking at this, and you guys think they make Coke bottles for bowl games anymore? This is the 1983 Sugar Bowl for the Auburn Tigers. Like that's kind of shows you, how the sport has changed over time, which is pretty neat.
Has Coke.
Yeah, right.
That's
Seriously.
the good stuff right
And
there.
This is cool. So this is Stanley Woodward's 1949 College Ball Preseason Magazine, which is wild. So he's like Phil Steele before whoever the guy, Phil Steele came out. Like there's no,
But was he the most accurate preseason magazine 1,000 years running in 1949?
He was probably the most and least accurate preseason magazine. Especially there wasn't more than one. Also, dude, this thing was expensive. I don't know what somebody who doesn't have a loud keyboard type in like inflation amount 25 cents in 1949. It's like this is thick. It's like pretty like good quality. Stanley predicted the winners of over 1,000 games.
It is currently $3.27.
So it's still not.
That's price of paper gone up. 1949's All-Americans, detailed performance breakdowns of over 100 teams.
That's cool.
How bro?
How do you get that?
Nobody
That's
was
a lot of
gonna fact check
legwork.
You think he had the question is, did you have a computer? No way, right? Like how are you?
1949.
Right, how are you
He had
referencing
like
to make
homing
sure,
pigeons that sent notes and brought them back.
But there are guys with computers. There are guys with computers for other networks who pick both sides of a team to win a game in the same day on two different shows. Like maybe it's intentional just to look good, but like, how did Stanley make sure that he didn't pick Ohio State to beat Michigan and then later on in the magazine Michigan to beat Ohio, or maybe 1,000 game predictions is a lot.
I just imagine,
broad.
Was it this early scene in? It is the early scene in Casino where we're watching Ace get started, and when he's actually like running the sports book, and it's everybody at the phone banks. I bet Stanley was at the phone bank. Like he had he had the connections across the country, and that was how he was able to get all of his information to be able to make it work.
We
in 1949, Florida State wasn't co-ed yet.
It's a great point. They didn't.
Right, yeah.
Everybody was totally focused. Nobody was standing on the table in the mess hall.
It's also a leather helmet.
All right, let's. I got one more. This is a good one. Just sort of a public service announcement for everybody. This question comes from Brett. He says, there is so much to keep track of. A mailbag question, tips for watching. There's so much to keep track of during a play, and it's hard with the TV broadcast when you can't see the secondary. What are some things that you guys like to pay attention to when watching a game? He adds, I like to watch blitz frequency. So as you're watching a game, just a little bit of, I don't think we're giving away any state secrets. There's lots of different ways to do it. A lot of things happen in college football. What are some ways that you enjoy watching from home when you're not in the stadium, with the opportunity to see the whole field and sort of watch everything develop?
Quarterback warming up, like backup quarterback warming up. Like typically that's a good indication if the guy's going to go in, if they're going to pull the starter. Like that's always something that's, you don't really see it on TV, but if you're in the stadium, it's like, oh, they might really pull him. Like they're having the backup, like get up and throw, Secondary is probably the biggest one because you just can't see it. Like some of these stadiums, like Doak is the worst for this, like the worst because it's so zoomed in. I think Tennessee's nice. Like you actually see more. Like certain stadiums you can see and certain you can't. Just because of how, like where they put the big TV camera and how much they like. Certain producers probably do zoom in more than others, but I think a lot of it is stadium. Like you really can't see.
But when you're watching on TV, how do you watch on TV? Like if for our fans that are watching and they want to say how does Bud, how does Danny, how does Tom, like how do you all watch the game when you're watching college football on a Saturday?
Oh, it's super zoomed in. I think you watch the line more. Like you try to not follow the ball. Something happens to the ball, they're going to show you the replay on it.
I mean, Saturdays for me now are different in that since, we do the reaction show on Saturday night, we've got to be keeping tabs on everything. So it's like I have multiple games on at once, so I can't really focus on anything granular during any specific game because I'm kind of just moving around to see what's going on all over the place. But if I'm watching a game solo on television, like a Thursday night game or a Friday night game, or if it's one of the late Saturday games, I watch line play. That pretty much tells you how the play is going to go most of the time. And then the camera will, like, you don't have to watch the ball because the camera will take you to where the ball's going.
My favorite. So I like you, Tom. I don't love the way I watch games now because you're watching so many games. I prefer to watch one game and kind of focus in on it.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite thing to do when I was calling games. So you have like a bank of monitors. You'll have like 4 monitors in front of you. So you've got one that's kind of what is going over the air. You've got one that's your telestrator. You've got one that can just be the offensive line. And then you've got what they call a net return, which is actually the delayed monitor. So it is actually like 5 seconds delayed behind. So that's what everybody on the country's watching. So I would use that. A lot of guys do this to kind of cheat. So I would watch the field, and I personally, like from the quarterback's perspective, I like to watch the routes develop and kind of see what's kind of coming open and see what's happening. But as soon as you got a bead for that, or if it was a running play, you can quickly look down and see the net return because it's delayed, and then you can watch the blocking schemes. That was kind of a fun way to watch a game because you could, in real time, with like a really quick delay, you could see both aspects of it unfold almost simultaneously. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
So like if you might be like, oh, it's a run, and you kind of missed, was it a like an OT pull? Was it something up front? Like what scheme was it? Was it a stretch zone, wide zone? And so you can go back once you realize, all right, it's not a pass, and then watch the blocking schemes unfold and kind of lock in on a couple guys up front, which is kind of a fun way to do it.
Really fun.
What do you guys think? I was just going to say, I don't know if you saw the question about the red zone. Somebody in the chat pulled up about the red zone. Like, what do you guys think about the Quantrell? He said, did you guys talk about the red zone? I think it would be awesome. I don't want to rain on everybody's parade. I think it's already been done. First of all, they had goal line for 10 years at ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Unless it's all networks combined where you can see all the games. And even then, I think you probably have to do it at the Power 4 level because there's so many games going on that it might just be too overwhelming.
ESPN should 100% do this and charge for it for SEC.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that stands out to me is college football is not like NFL. I mean, not everybody's playing fantasy. Not everybody wants to watch every game. You know, you are very much of your particular tastes. And that's where, if you've got the opportunity to build your own quad box, you know, or you're able to find one with all of the games that you want to watch, that's where those are going to be the options that I think college football fans are more excited about than necessarily having someone else make the decision of when they're going to rip away and take you to a game, because the odds that you are as interested in every game they will take you to me, are probably pretty low, especially compared to the NFL.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Tom.
I watch Red Zone. It's like I watch the Bears game, and then I'm either watching the Bears game or I'm watching Red Zone. So I get it from a fan perspective, but I also think that, like you said, Chip, it's different college football to NFL just based on what people are interested in, people want. And also, I will add, I think Red Zone is terrible for the way the sport's covered, because it's not hard to figure out how many analysts, like when you watch Red Zone yourself, it's not hard to figure out how many of these guys just watched Red Zone themselves. And it's like all you hear about are the same certain plays that you saw. You don't really hear anything about in-depth going in on like teams and like how games unfolded. And I think that it kind of makes the sport coverage stupider.
See, that's what I like about the multi-screen. If you've got multiple TVs or a quad box, like that kind of approach, like you mentioned, Tom, because of what we have to do to get ready for the reaction show on Saturday nights, or just to try to cover the whole daggum sport, that's where I can keep track of like when the high leverage moments are, you know, where I don't have to wait till a team gets in the red zone to then all of a sudden check in on the game. I can see how you got to the red zone. I can see like a team marching down the field, or where the big stop was, or where the touchdown was called back, right? You know, or the explosive play was called back, and understanding the rhythms within a drive and how that impacts the game. That, like, I would say that getting a good feel for the high leverage moments is the most important thing if you're going to do the multi-screen live, because otherwise it can just be too much. It can be a little bit overwhelming.
Another aspect to it consider as far as like the possibility of college football red zone. First, I don't think you're going to be able to, if you're ESPN, you're going to convince CBS, NBC, and Fox to give you the rights to their footage to show live so you could steal viewers from them as the games are going on. But if ESPN, because they have the ACC rights, they have the SEC rights, if they wanted to do like an SEC style red zone where it's all the SEC going on, it's not like the NFL where there are 10 games going on at once and then there are 5 games going on or 4 games going on in the afternoon. There's typically only 2 games going on at a time in each league. So I just don't know if it is as necessary for college football, or if it has the same kind of impact and appeal.
I have a hot take.
Let's go.
Big Inning is the best like red zone style product. Do you guys watch this?
Big Inning is a good host too.
So good. Like, because you get all the high leverage baseball situations and like the interesting stuff, and they're like, whoever produces that does an awesome job.
And also, baseball moves slow enough to where you're not missing things all the time. With like when they're going from one game to another, you're able to like follow the 4 games or however many they're showing at a time, because you know there's usually 10 to 15 seconds between pitches, so you can kind of just keep going back and forth.
The only thing I wish you could do with Big Inning is like lock in one game and let the other like I would be like, producer, give me like your producer magic and like all like in the 3 other games, but like let me like stay on the Rays for that one.
You can
like
do
when
that
we go
on
to
MLB
a full
TV on your laptop. That option
on the
is
laptop
available
only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But wait, but you could put one game on your laptop and have Big Inning on your big screen.
No, I'm saying is like there's, if you watch MLB TV on your computer, your desktop, there's like a layout option where you can have like one big game, and then kind of like we do now when Mikey puts up the graphic on the side, there are 3 other games, or you can have them all into quad boxes like we are right now.
But it's not like Big Inning produced where they're good.
No, you have to do it yourself.
3. Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
you
build
get to
it
play
yourself.
television producer.
I like that.
That's what I'm coming for your job there, Noah Stryker.
By the way,
Are we gonna make you? Yeah.
quad box, if they continue to make the improvements they have, like in the last 6 months, and I don't know how it goes with some of these because I don't know how the rights work, but being able to build your 4, which you couldn't really do last year, you could pick from some, but they've come a long way in being able to pick exactly what you want. That will be the ultimate quad box when you can pick the 4 games that you want. Do what?
What did they change? Because like last
last year they would give you all these options, but like they wouldn't give you the option to choose the 4 specific. So you might have a blowout, like we've talked about that before on here. Like you want to drop one because it's up 40 points. You might be stuck with a blowout in one of your windows. This one you can swap out and build the games that are the best games that you want to see.
But I mean, like, will they let me mix an NBC, a CBS, a Fox, and the ESPN game? Because like last year you couldn't cross network streams in many cases.
That's where I don't know, but like I know you can cross networks now, like on other like news shows. You can have Fox and CNN, and you can have CNBC and the Weather Channel. Like you can pick whatever, but that's why I said I don't know how rights are with college football, but my goodness, if you could do that, that's close to heaven.
I mean, if Danny could just have MSNBC in this corner, if Danny.
True. C-SPAN, PBS.
Yeah.
What? Oh, that's a good question for the chat. What is Danny's 4th screen? MSNBC, C-SPAN, PBS.
That's right.
It used to be Colbert, but not anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Corey, you could cross networks with the college basketball quad boxes.
Yeah, so I think they're going to get that. I think we might get it.
On a college basketball Saturday, you are not stuck with like just the ESPN stuff. You could be able to get like whatever that big college basketball game was. HGTV is the extra one for Danny. Yeah, I think you could for sure. Hey, Danny might like Bravo.
Real Housewives. I'm a huge stan, for that.
Yeah.
Are you more Love Island or more Housewives?
Is Love Island done for the summer?
I have no idea.
I think so. I was just trying to keep my daughters from watching that one.
That crap.
Dude, that is so popular. Like, there's a bar down the street. Like, they have like huge like Love Island viewing parties.
Oh yeah.
It's like
this country's gone to hell.
It's so crazy.
Feels like a great way to meet people.
I guess. Like,
I mean, if you go to the
it's
Love
like
Island
actual Love
party,
Island at the bar, like a singles night.
Good.
Actually, yeah, that's a pretty.
Yeah,
that's a good idea. I'm gonna start a bar just for that now.
There we go. All right. So next week, Monday, we get things rocking and rolling with the SEC win totals part 1. Wednesday, SEC win totals part 2. Thursday, we'll be back with some more camp buzz and mailbag questions. On Tuesday, CBS Sports Network, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to continue to give you great ways to preview the season. I hope you loved our Heisman draft. I hope you loved our Impact Players draft. Lots more to come on that front as well, as we are going to be, again, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, youtube.com/cover3. Then Tuesdays, noon Eastern Time. Lock that in, y'all, because that's going to be where you're going to find us. Then, of course, once the season gets rocking and rolling, Saturday night instant reaction shows. And you can follow him on Twitter at Tom Fornelli. You can follow him at Bud Elliott 3. You can follow him at Danny Kanell. Follow me at Chip _Patterson. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.